Alright, so hello everyone, welcome to the stream. So we are starting with the concept art portion of basically the planning stage for the game. So at this current stage, the number one thing we need is, given that the idea is to do a top management of some kind, is to create a player character, because the theme has already been decided for us. Well, the way I'm putting that is basically working with a HoloLive one so that I don't have to think. But realistically, that portion is more like a skin, and when it comes down to it, if there's a better idea down the line, we can swap over and just swap out all the assets, given that will be a ton of work if all the assets get swapped out, but it is a thing that could be done. So generally, the most important thing when creating a player character that is supposed to be more generic is generally make them a little bit boring. I think what I'm going to do is just going to create a very basic character that largely falls into a generic stance. I'm actually going to just slap a symmetrical ruler down here and at least somewhat try to keep this. How do I not move the ruler with the object? Keep turning that sitting off it. Where is the ruler? No. Player. No. Where is the setting to not drag the whole edge ruler in with just transforming a portion of my canvas? Is that not a thing? Is this the setting in here? Adjust angle after no, wait. Scale, rotate, edit, reset, no, flip, no, confirm, no, that's just the usual things. Keep original image, keep aspect ratio, adjust precision. There's a setting in here that says move the whole edge ruler. What is this? Keep original image. What is this? Maybe no. Change no. Wait, this is a setting? Okay, I need to. This. This would be probably useful for me to turn off sometimes. Another thing that just tells it to not grab the ruler. No, really? Okay, we're gonna make a folder and put the ruler in the folder. Then we can move this without moving everything else. Like, down some pins. I feel like I grab some brushes. Like, you grab any pins? I would like a different pencil. I'm not just always drawing with a pin. Will they actually design like a full character, or just try and do a chibi character? I haven't really thought this out fully. Collapse this. Probably a bit less than that. We're all down a bit. Probably not do it like that. But I need like a rounder head if I want to do like a more chibi figure. I want to do a very basic. Basically, what I always want the ability to hold an object. Kind of like. Ba, ba, ba. Realistically, a whole here we go, something like I have a wide screens. Why do I feel like I've seen this in a horror game somewhere? I'm gonna set up the one for this. Could be what? Flat perspective. Hmm. I guess I don't really need to constrain myself within one screen. Screen should definitely be able to scroll. Should I just go with a bigger canvas? Go with bigger canvas. Well, since we'll go with bigger canvas, let's increase the canvas size by a whole bunch. But we're gonna increase it. Just a little square. Actually, wait, let me do something really stupid really quickly. Let me just go. Do that, and then we're going to go and just turn this into a giant old box. Oh, I pressed an extra button, that didn't matter. That means that there needs to be a point at which things can move through. The actual collision for this will have to be something like this. But then you need to be able to put other things like right in front as well. Also, this is why none of those games back in the day ever used a flat perspective. Very implied perspective with a ring everything around the walls of a shop. Do like a donut shape with low shelves. It was the one game I played back in the day that was like that. Otherwise, it's always isometric. Oh yeah, I should probably set up all of the other stuff that I need. Alright, let's see if I can still log into this. Hack and play? Hack and. Let's see if I can log in. Sign in. What's my password? Was I using this password back then? I don't know if I was using the password back then. Try this. Nope. How about this? Nope. How about this? Nope. Okay, what about this? Okay, let me try and sign in with GitHub, dude. Oh, my GitHub's still signed in. Alright, so let me just... I actually don't know if there's anything that will be problematic if I show it, but... Oh. That's neat. Alright, how do I make a new board? Oh, my name's on here. That's hilarious. I mean, that's... I don't really care too much about that, but... I change. I'm working on my own now, so people see that. Let's just update that. No, I really don't care about two-factor authentication on this. This is really not important enough to warrant that. The heck is all this stuff? Kanban, Agile is breadboards. You just scream Agile, right? Okay. Okay. So. Actually, wait. Give me a moment. Let's just. Can I go to a different page here? I'm pretty sure somewhere my email is also like just publicly on the internet somewhere, but let's just have that off the screen. I go custom, or do I? Okay, I think this is more sensible. Alright, have a look at this. The subtask dependency attachments. So I think probably. Yeah, I can pretty much do all this, right? We're not going to do notifications because I'm working alone. Attachments, types. Don't need attachments, I'm working alone. I don't really need attachments. Like, unless more people. Actually, I should be able to change this when it comes down to it, so it doesn't really matter. Even if ends up being more people on the actual project. Dates, types. Honestly, I should probably. I don't really know if I want to be working on this constantly in a way that I actually have to go back to it the whole all the time. I want to do this a bit more loosely, spin off dates. Do costs, so don't do dates. I think that's probably the most sensible way to do it. Okay, we're doing. Oh no, let's just say hello. Let's go shop and go. Working name. We want to go. Shop. Management with live theme. Cost metric we want to do an hour. In hours, and that is okay. Let's see. Whoa. That's new. That's very new. Wait, 30 days? I thought it told us to not have a due date. What is this? And before I literally said don't have due dates. What is this? Honestly, I kind of would have liked it if this board wasn't already filled with stuff. Well, actually, wait, no, is this in categories? Oh, that's fine, dude. Yeah, that's actually fine. Okay, so we need to this is always how it worked. This looks more like a task than a user story. What? What's task do? Oh. Okay, I am rusty as hell. I am very rusty. Is this supposed to be... Oh. I don't remember this being like this, but... Supposed to use user story? Supposed to use tasks. Let me just... I can delete this, so let me just... say this is user story. What does this actually create? Let me just go over what this actually does. Oh, that, and then you create tasks within the user story. Okay, good. Okay, that makes more sense. Just felt really weird that this was completely blank. Can I rename this? Okay, so I need to do concept planning for game needs to be brainstorm to have direction. And then we want to do some tasks here. Initial idea of game loop. Storyboard. Can I not give these? Can I not give this at you? Can I give you a cost? Oh, I cannot. Okay, interesting. Concept for player character. It should probably be on the art, shouldn't it? What else do we need to do here? Initial visual layout of game screen. Because I turned off a whole bunch of things that I'm not able to do the same things as before. This feels a little bit weird. Okay, we've got the time logging here. Attachments, right? What else do we need to do here? Is that essentially the base part of this? I guess we also should do the research and play through similar titles. here. I think that's more or less what we need for now. Do I shift this whole thing together? What's the point of the task? The task is this is a story. Why can't I not move the task with the story? Has that always been like that? That feels really weird. Because if I say, can I complete and then uncomplete a task? How do I complete a task? I swear they've changed the whole layout of this and I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Oh wait, if I say completed then it'll just... Is this... Okay, that completes it. Okay, good. Okay, we're gonna do this, and we're going to do this. Kind of effectively we're currently setting that. I should probably create a bookmark of this. Alright, bookmark this. At least vaguely keep track of what I'm actually doing. So when it comes to... Anyway, back to this. When it comes to a flat perspective, the problem then becomes at what angle is the perspective actually at? Because we get situations like this where if a... Let's just say very vaguely. A character just call this a character is this big, then it'll be like the main worry would then be how big can the shapes be to not overlap on top of each other. Because we'll be working in 2D, which means perspective changing is a little bit more limited based on the camera. You can't have the camera move and look over an object. On the other hand, if we go to do the isometric, then what you end up with is, let's say we have a let's say this is the door, then you'd have these stands at an angle. Well, let's just say there's like some kind of stand. Let's say there's a walkway like about this big and all the stands need to be about the same size. That's way too tall, honestly, but let's just say they're like about this tall. Let's just cut them down a little bit. Should they be? Actually, they should be taller than the people, right? When it comes down to it. And let's just say there's like a walkway about that big so that it's about as wide as the doorway. And what you end up with is, depending on how tall the character is, generally speaking it's a bit smooth because then you'll be going from like the... Because we'll be using pathfinding, we'll be using a predetermined route that basically moves between nodes. Which means that we'll be going like 1, 2, maybe like out. And then would just be like a lot of like right angles, right? Then the next factor is the limitations on character or player customization of a shop. Like, that also be I feel like that should be something I'll work on later. On actually, like, what kind of thing should this shop sell, and what kind of limitations does that put on the container in which something, or like the display in which something is shown. This what would that do? Okay, let me just grab this. We're just gonna shift this down a little bit so that we have a back wall here. Oh. That drawer's a thing. Let me just get that out there. Let me just drag this down. So, pretending that we have a thing here, and we say we have a wall, so this will be like the wall. So we have the same shelf along the edge here, so say like this, it'll be the collider, or basically the box in which player cannot enter, or the NPC is not supposed to enter. We get sort of with a asymmetric view, it's easier to create perspective shapes. I don't really have to say collide, is more like a shelf. Or can you just have like let's say this is like a wall display. This is like shelf, and then this is what the arbitrary area that is what would be a shelf if there was a shelf, but instead was saying that something hangs on the wall instead. I think using this view, the advantage to that is if you're taking a flat perspective, that heavily limits this wall and this wall, right? You kind of end up with only the flat back wall to work with. So realistically, I think this is probably better. I think you end up with 3 different walls, or 2, you know, 2 walls that are visible to the player. And then usually when you do a third surface here, let's say this is a third wall, and this is where you bring in the... In order to show things on this wall, this is where you usually bring in like a, was it low shelf? On this side. Let's just pretend it's going like this. Something like that. Because then your movement will be like... I didn't draw this very well, but you end up right in front of whatever is here, and with these you can have like 1, 2, 3, and you can have the character stop in front of each point. Is probably how that should go. Actually, how feasible? I mean, these shelves. So we take the flat perspective, and the shelves are still feasible, but then they'll end up along the edge here, and you'll just have like this edge 1, 2, 3 per se. Oh, this is just more limiting. Even when we don't do a door like this, you can always do the welcome mat, and just go door on one side of like the edge of that. That could be a entryway. I think I like this more. I think realistically the door should probably be more of a welcome mat door maneuver. Okay, what are the advantages of putting the door on one side or the other? It's mostly visual. Having a door on a visible wall side basically just allows, if we want to go, let's say like this is glass. You can actually do things like display. What that's a display like here, and then you can actually have like a road like going here. I'm writing on top of everything that I'm writing. That's probably not a great look. That allows you to have visual ability to see characters moving up and down and actually going in and either entering or passing by. That feels good for the player though. We can actually see customers not going in. And then that also becomes a problem, was it? With this kind of game, you'll end up with a point where it'll just be swarms of people just like rolling in. I think some more like player experience things. Hmm. Because if the door is on this side, then you generally want to just black out this, just so that's like, this is not play area, like don't pay attention to this. Because if you do like an ugly ass arc to kind of show where the door is, you end up with this arc that is blocking part of this wall. That's generally not a great look. Well, at least I don't think that's a great look. I don't know if that's like a good or bad experience. Just hide things behind other things. For more of a fan parody kind of game, anything that includes the subject of the parody should probably be very visible, which means you want to hide as little as possible. Which also complicates how things in the middle of the shop should be. So should these... Realistically, these should be tall. Be like tall shelves that tower over people. But then you can't see people going behind them. I mean, I guess I could just mask them to have people be able to walk through them, but... Well, not walk through them, but see through them. That's technically not that big of a deal. Yeah, is that good for basic game board? Start off. Until we decide on the more concepts of the game, or more mechanics within the game. Things like needing access to a storage room so you can move stock around, or even just like cleaning. Like, should that be done live during gameplay, or is that like a thing that just happens that builds up like a statistic that's handled in menus later? Okay, I think I should just like throw together like the most generic. What is like the generic actor? I'll also just do a very like hyper generic character. To go kind of flat eyes. And then let me just get these out of here. No different layer. You got like super generic characters like what? Do the usual, a little bit long right down the middle, like that. Maybe a little bit long along the side, like a bit, have a little bit sticking out. This eye should be more this way. Also a bit more this way. We're doing... I'm trying to create like the most generic character right now. Hello, by the way. That I can think of in very basic anime form. Trying to get something leaning androgynous right now. We're doing the concept, doing some concept art right now, so given the way I want to structure the game, the player character should be generic. Does the player character in this sense need to be recognizable when they're not? They're the effective implementation of the player into the world, but they should not be the star of like the actual game. They're more like the vessel by which the player interacts with the game. Like, how recognizable is the player character to be, or can they just literally be a mob character? I think in this instance, so going with yeah, this wasn't currently working on the idea that I was going to be a game themed around Hololive. I might think about how to design the player character in a more interesting way, but given that ideally I'd like to theme it around Hololive right now, just as a base to work with, it makes me want to make the player character more generic. Like this very aggressive way of saying that the player character is just the player character and is not the star. You kind of do like what this kind of layered short hair. It's about as aggressively generic as you can make a character. What's a game that generally lets you select between I mean, I guess most games let you select a gender for a character nowadays if they give you a player character. What's one that actually has like design between the two instead of just like throwing down some super generic ass character? We just go Pokemon. Pokemon player character. And the Pokemon ones definitely have character to their designs there. That is a thing to think about. Especially like an initial like planning or like trial of the concept. I should probably think about that. I feel like the general choices these days for Alive, if I'm not doing something directly targeting a theme around one of their talents, will probably be what, you know what, Fubuki or Hekara or Suisei or Miko. I feel like I generally like the popular choices. I have no idea what's happening with the English branch anymore. I think the only person in the English branch I actually follow is Ina, since Gura has left now. I actually don't know if she's still streaming or not. I know people were sharing around her private account when she was leaving. I've not bothered to check up. Actually, is Hololive stocks like stopped plummeting after Gura left yet? Is that still a thing? The stocks like restabilized? Let's have a look actually, I'm kinda curious. Let's see, cover. Wait, is this still going down? Oh my god. Oh, that's so. And it's like mildly funny. Hold on, when did hello. When did Gura officially leave? May 1st. When did she announce she was leaving? It opened like before that. Hold on, let's have a look at this chart. Can I look at this by month? 6 months. They have not recovered. Holy shit. What happened to them in February? Why did they have a giant dip in February? Man, I know the yen isn't doing particularly great. This should just be a stock exchange on like, just like the Japanese stock market, right? How they drop so much? As you can see, just like thinking about Like some fan games do include their talents that have left, even though usually they try to include them in a less direct way. Ironically, I feel like a good number of the talents that have left recently are among the more popular ones. Which has definitely hurt them. It also makes generally picking out who to use as a bit of a question. I mean, like, you look at this. I actually don't know what happened in February. What happened in February? Let's see what. Don't remember what happened in February. February. What the heck happened to them in February that caused a giant dip in their stocks? I know the 100% the April and May dips would have been from Gura leaving. I think her announcement was in April. This is what I think Mume leave as well. Mume left as well. The Mume left. When did Mume leave? Ona was last year? Mume left at the end of April. When did Fauna leave? I think that was... He left at January. That wasn't any of these. But they did have like a flurry of recent graduations of their talents. Even though Girl was the big one. But, I know Shion left from the Japanese branch, but she is comparatively not that big compared to the other Japanese talents. I'm actually kind of surprised how big that dip is. You know, the fun thing in the end is that, honestly, at this current stage, it technically doesn't have to be all life themed. I'm just doing that because I don't feel like thinking immediately on some original theme. It just makes it a bit easier to work with, since the goal of this project is much more to de-rust and actually sit down and make a game than it is to make something immediately successful. That's not gonna happen in a realistic sense, and I recognize that, so you just need something that like most of the way functions. We're taking the isometric state, then thing is, depending on how aggressively the zoom is, like how much zoom there is, that actually affects the way things have to be designed. Because if you can zoom in a lot, then you'd end up better off with a full figure. Like say this is like a box of goods of some kind, and you can actually have like a full-on figure. That's like visible on the box. Or you end up with the same thing, but instead you put something a bit smaller, but more of like a whatchamacallit, recognizable kind of image on there to represent something instead. Also, at this current point, I don't want to try drawing any of the talents off memory, even though I feel like I might actually be able to. Because if like you have zoom, then you can actually like see this from a smaller figure. But with like no zoom, then you need something that's like big and recognizable from further away, like that. Now let's just pretend these are like, I don't know, like bigger box or something. But realistically, when it comes down to how it needs to be visually displayed, let's say there is a shelf here, let's say there are several stands, then realistically we're looking at something that is about, at best about this big, and realistically we are looking at maybe at best probably not this much screen space. We're probably looking more at about like this much screen space of actually seeing what's on the box. So it needs to be visually recognizable, then it depends on how much zoom you get, because if you then zoom in, then you actually get to have significantly more detail when looking at something, which is always a consideration. You know what, on that note, let's throw that in here as well. We need a yeah, let's just side on which I don't know why, but I usually like avoid saying VTuber. I usually just call them talents. Like, I don't know why. Use as first. Just throw this into here. Don't need anything else. I think that's like roughly the things that need to be decided on. Oh yeah, I'm actually able to, I haven't used this in like way too long. Let me just go through this and actually see what other functionalities I have here. I think there was a way to create just like all of the tasks ahead of time and then put them into boards. Is it just in the backlog? Do I just create stuff in the backlog and just line it all up? I think I can do. Here's the thing I can do. How does this work? This was not... I don't feel like this was here when I last used Hack and Plan. Oh, I can... Oh, can I have a whole element? Interesting. You know, I still don't know, but like this planning stage should be something I'd really do on stream. It's definitely, I mean, honestly, I don't talk that much when I'm drawing anyway, but it just feels like there's gonna be more dead spots in the stream in the overall runtime, which isn't particularly great for whole algorithm. It always comes down to the YouTube algorithm, doesn't it? In terms of like what I usually end up doing. Yo, YouTube overlords. The CEO changed at some point, and then I think at one stage, it wasn't. Was it the guy who tried to? Hold up. Still Neil more. Neil Mohan. I think the CEO right now, there was like a bit of controversy when he first stepped in. It was only 2 years ago. Because the initial image that he kind of gave everyone was that he was a NFT bro. Which is why a lot of people were really worried. Looking at Reddit, a lot of people are just pissed at how YouTube's being run in general, which is hilarious. I mean, most of it, I don't think is really the CEO's fault when it comes to the increase in ads, because that's more of a that's just a problem with the economy in general, where everyone needs more money from somewhere. I mean, I am kind of curious who at YouTube's in charge of deciding that they should be using Gemini to decide where to put ads rather than using Gemini to get rid of problematic ads and to get rid of problematic content in general using their AI, because that's like what a lot of people are saying. They have an AI that's so powerful it can work out where to stick. I mean, it's technically not that difficult for AI to work out where to stick ads in a video. It just looks at where most people like click to the most watched portion of a video. I mean, for the most part, I don't really have like that big a problem with how they run the overall platform. But I know when it comes down to it, as much as the ads suck, it's a money problem that everyone's having. I just like it if they actually use their glorious AI to like clean up the platform a little bit. I mean, I don't know if I still get them on my stuff, but at one point I also had spam comments from bots. I usually don't get them now, probably because I'm not a big enough deal for the bots to really come rolling in to hammer my comment section. But there was a phase in doing YouTube where I also had bot comments, so that was a good bit of fun. Is there a way to look? At the very least, I don't think I see any videos with random ass comments. There used to be some random person who commented on like all of my shorts. That was a long time ago. And there was a random ass Russian comment here. Don't know where that came from. At least on this channel, I don't have any random bot comments that haven't been cleaned up. Maybe if I look at my other channel, my old channel, I definitely had bot comments on that one. I remember that. Something that roughly resembles a human figure. Something that roughly resembles a human figure, good enough. Those legs are so off, it's actually hilarious. We just do something about that. Alright. In terms of what do I want to do with the actual what's like the most generic like shop outfit? Hello there, how you doing? They're like a good old t-shirt, pants, and just live with that. Or they go something like more of like a open jacket look where it just hangs a little bit more. I mean, it still goes pants, right? I feel like if it's the concept is to form a game around retail, it has to be pants. And I guess the other question is, you throw a hat onto the person. I mean, when it comes to hats, when you're working in a shop, it's 100% always a cap, right? Unless you're like doing a very specialty shop where maybe you wear something different, but Even like small things like, should a shirt have a collar? I feel like really affects the feel of a character, or something like this. Like, should there be, if we just slide under here, should there actually be color? Very poorly drawn, but should there be a collar? Collar, the thing about collar is what generally makes it look a little bit neater. They're doing a like a open top to a shirt. So we plan ahead a little bit in theory, then the thing with a shirt, just say like we have a shirt, something like that, very poorly drawn, is that on here you can throw in a big old picture. The idea is to allow a very aggressive way to theme basically anything about shop, I guess. I mean, if it's like that, then did I draw this on? Draw this on figure? Oh. Because then you'd end up, let's say, with, I'm just making new layers here. There's going to be a bunch of layers here. Let's say your person is walking. How big should this be if let's just say the back is about like this wide. Like, the thing with a normal shirt as like the most visible thing, and they're not wearing something on top, is that if you have like something on it, it could be on the front and the back. If you have the open kind of jacket, then that means it pretty much has to be on the back only. Oh boy. Bum, 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 bum. How absurd it would be if I stuck a cap on this? And then you can just be like, I don't know why I keep drawing the very poorly perspective-wise foxtail, but it's the one that comes to mind immediately. It's the one I know I can draw immediately. Hmm. Okay, don't really have any more ideas for the day, so I'm just gonna very quickly do some sourcing on the internet, see if I can find some things that may or may not be, well, one of the games I was looking at is a GBA game, so I think I can very safely download a ROM of that without caring. Let me see. Yeah, box off with this. Why is it showing me a box art Digimon? That's not what I want. Probably just gonna try and source the ROMs and go from there, but there's another game that I was thinking back on is on Steam now. It didn't used to be on Steam when I 100% pirated it back in the day. Wait, there's a second one of these? Yeah, second one of these. Oh, there's HD version. What the heck is this? This game's on Steam now. How much does it cost on Steam? Is this something I'll consider? Or was it a price that I'd actually got? That is actually probably pretty fair. I definitely played the actually shit out of this game. Hold up. Do I have a second browser on this on my PC right now? I don't. Edge, I need you to do stuff. I'm opening up Microsoft Edge, and I don't know if that's a great idea or not. No, I'm not gonna make it my default browser. Go away. Go to YouTube. I'm just gonna search through my old channel to take a look if I played through that game on YouTube or not. Back in the day, I did Let's Plays. And they definitely did not do very well. Let's see. Did I play through this on YouTube? I did not. I did not. Looking back at this, I still don't know how different it would have been if I decided to go with the gaming route instead of doing the art route on the old YouTube. Like I say, one thing, I definitely talked more to myself back then it was all videos and not streams. There was a lot of talking to myself for like over an hour at a time. I feel like after I learned how to draw, I definitely had more fun doing like thumbnails. Unfortunately, my thumbnail folder also got lost with the good old Windows crash out, but the thing is, like, unless your channel is really substantially large, gaming doesn't really do very well on YouTube in general. Unless you're doing something that's like kind of either it's very trending, you might be able to snatch some views, or you're doing Minecraft, basically. The Minecraft basically guarantees you get views. But the reality of it is that because of the wonderful YouTube algorithm, it's unless you're a very large channel, splitting your content is highly unadvised. You can even see it in like the really big channels. Usually if they do something that their audience, like their general audience doesn't go to their channel for, normally they will see like this pretty significant dip in viewership. It's just that for a big channel they can maintain pulling back all of their like normal viewers whenever they're doing their standard content. I haven't done a gaming stream in like, what? When was the last gaming stream I did? Let me see if I can find it. It would have been like, it might have been like 23. I don't even think it was like 24. I think it was like 23. It was like the last gaming stream I did. How do I search through this in a more effective way? Can I go through this in a way that I cannot? I think I do have do I have playlists of them? I think I do. No, I don't. I have like playlists very vaguely of them. Well, it is do whatever you enjoy, but honestly, if I want to do gaming again, it's better if I open another channel. And just like separate it completely. I I definitely had my fair share of fun with the more with the thumbnails than anything else. I definitely did more. I drew a lot more, like very quick things when I was doing gaming because I was making thumbnails. Like these are all what for what was it, Pokemon Infinite Fusion? A whole bunch of like silly ass thumbnails. I think this was like my best set of thumbnails I ever did. It's really unfortunate that Windows decided to crash out and I don't have my old thumbnail folder anymore because I definitely had a pretty good set of them. I think these ones, I don't think they were quite as nice. Yeah, these ones weren't as good. I feel like the ones I did for Pokemon Violet weren't as standardized, but it was still like a little bit. Yeah, these were like pretty good. Like definitely the best ones I did were like all within the Infinite Fusion. Along with like how absurd Infinite Fusion was. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know how much I count myself as a VTuber sometimes. I definitely follow the Twitch description of the VTuber tag, which is I use the arbiter, and that's it. The arbiter itself is supposed to be a walking advertisement for my general art style and model rigs. Okay, I'm just gonna like. I feel like for this, I am okay with this isometric thing, especially comment here. I did, and then the algorithm killed my channel. I can tell you, I did exactly that. Because I was doing art streams and some art videos. I was doing a gaming stream on the weekend, and then I was using that to create a whole bunch of gaming shorts. And then at one point, I did some React content, and the algorithm completely killed my channel immediately. So you know, that's the fun part of that. I'm not super bothered by about growing my channel quickly, but I would at least like the algorithm to not annihilate my channel. Yeah, which is why, like, if I want to do gaming or React, I should make another channel. It's just that, since I haven't really been doing videos, it's, like, generally when you're doing more than one channel, it's, like, it's better if one of them is basically all videos. And I know, I pretty much understand, like, how bad gaming videos do in general if you're not basically you're not doing Minecraft or Fortnite. I think Fortnite still gets like a average amount of views. Because when it comes to it, like gaming is like if you're not a big channel already, you either have to like only do one thing forever, which basically means you need a game with a really long lifespan, or you're basically stuck with like Minecraft, Fortnite, and Among Us. Yeah, right now I am multi-streaming. I do have a Twitch feed rolling at the same time. I've got I'm streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. Like yeah, the thing with well, I wouldn't put a Twitch link in for the YouTube stream because that's a little counterproductive. But generally, you want like the thing with like viewer behavior is that they have a platform they like, and they will stay on that platform. So there's no point trying to get people to go to another platform if they have found you on one platform. And like if they actually want to look for you on a different platform, they will find you. Like that's just how it goes. Actually, I don't even know if my Twitch link is in like my Twitter or anything. Let's have a look at that. Does my Twitter currently have my Twitch link in there anywhere? I think I'm using a link tree. And I haven't touched my link tree in forever. Let's say, where's my link tree? Let's have a look at this. I don't have my Twitch link there. I have a TikTok link, I don't have my Twitch link there. I should probably do something about that. I haven't uploaded anything to TikTok in like 2 years, I think. I think I need to change a whole bunch of these links. Does this go to VGN? Oh, this does go to VGN. That is a portion of people. You'll be surprised by how many people don't want to. Like if someone is very invested in your content and they want to watch your content and they know that you are only live on Twitch, they will move from YouTube to Twitch. Typically, if they're only interested in your live content because they want the engagement from the stream, if they watch you on Twitch, they will not watch your YouTube content. Like it's really hard to get people to move between platforms. Like it sounds idyllic that you can make people find your videos and then move them to Twitch. It's actually not that realistic in practice. It's actually a very small percentage of people, so it's easier to just send a multi-stream going to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Like especially ever since YouTube streaming became like a mildly substantial thing, it's like it's still not as good as Twitch in terms of as a pure streaming platform, but it is enough that you probably can't get someone who prefers watching YouTube to go watch you on Twitch. And it's the same the other way, because like most people who watch you on Twitch don't like the lack of chat tools and interactions and all that other stuff that Twitch provides that YouTube doesn't have. So it's really hard to get game to move over as well. Um, um, are you looking at like full-time streamers or like that's not a thing that you really get from very small streamers. There's also a matter of availability and like who your target audience is and all that other stuff. But, oh, what to do with this? Actually deciding on like how much to work on this. Well, I need to go look at this person. Hold up. Look. What kind of content is this person doing? You know they're straight money streaming, right? This person is literally body streaming. What is my Twitch link? I don't get my Twitch link. Where's Twitch? Why is it signed in here? I'm not signed in here. Where's YouTube chat? Cannot in messages from here. Does it even let me put in a... Wait. Wanna let me put in a link into here? It does. Maybe it does. That's my Twitch. I see, this person is putting out a lot of video content. You're like primarily on Twitch? I mean, for a good while, this person was like live on Twitch too, and then Donalfon. Oh wait. Like, this person actively advertises their Twitch as the YouTube title. Like, they're trying to push people over to Twitch. The content is still more or less focused, so it's all gaming. At least looking through this channel, content on the channel. Kinda hard to tell what the heck's happening from the thumbnails, which is something I don't like. I feel like I should know some of these faces, or some of the people that she's put in the thumbnail. I mean, I recognize some of them. There's a Zuck, and for some reason there's a why is there a Logan Paul in this thumbnail? I feel like I don't know enough about modern meme culture to understand half these thumbnails. I don't know, but either way, for me, since the majority of my audience is on YouTube, there's not really that much benefit for me to push people over to Twitch. Cause like when it comes down to it, Twitch is live at the same time my YouTube is live. If people want to find me on Twitch, they can find me. It's not like I'm affiliate on Twitch, so there's no benefit for me to move the audience, like the main audience on YouTube, onto Twitch. Let's... I mean, I feel like I say that about a lot of people on the internet these days, in general. I've watched my fair share of creators that definitely say some unhinged things. I mean, I've been watching a lot of the goons recently with their Cards Against Humanity stuff, so that gets incredibly unhinged very quickly. There's always like a general taste of like what you like watching, right? I mean, what are people I watch are still like relatively old YouTubers from like ages ago. I mean, sometimes I tell people that I watched the like initial PewDiePie Amnesia series when he was first uploading them, and just like, wow, I'm old. Well, that's less how the Twitch algorithm works and more how the Twitch layout is set up. Because Twitch is set up in a way where unless you're actively making them money, they won't advertise you at all, so you're just stuck at the bottom of a category. I mean, I think they were supposed to change it recently. Well, like a couple of years ago, they were supposed to like change it so that you might get smaller creators. Coming up in your search, depending on how you search or something. But like, if you're in a big category, because like, basically for me, I sit on the like I permanently sit in the art category of Twitch, right? So basically, when like, I don't even know if I mean, I think I'm allowed to do this on YouTube. But basically, like, when it comes down to it, I basically permanently sit in the art category for Twitch. So basically, I am underneath all of these people. Like, way down the bottom somewhere. And also, right now, it's not the time for English viewers on Twitch, really. Ideally, you want to be like probably rolling with a Asian language. You want to get majority of the viewers you could dig out. I mean, I've been scrolling for a while and still on like 3 to 2 viewers. I mean, I'd be well. I think on like what, 1 viewer right now? At best. But usually, a lot of the time, people generally advise for Twitch, if you're looking to grow on Twitch, you're better off looking for a not quite dead game where when you open up the category, you can see all of the streams on one page. Because it means that if anyone clicks on that category, they can actually see your stream. And now, with the huge preview window, you're limited to what, like 10 slots or something? Which is always fun. Did he close that preview window? I didn't see any way to close that preview window on Twitch just then. Alright, but anyways, I need to shut up and let people sleep, so finish up here for today. In terms of initial concept planning, this is fine for what I'm intending to do, which is really just sit down and build a game without worrying too much about any level of success. It's basically just need to create something from start to end and have it run is the current goal. How playable it is for other people at this point is not at the top of the priorities. But if I'm still feeling good about this project later, then that'll depend on how I feel as I'm working through the project. I'm actually deciding whether I want to work on this more this week. If I keep working on this for this week, then what I need next is, well, I need a storyboard for like the actual game loop, but that also kind of needs the full. I guess the storyboard should be next. And then after that, we could actually start looking at creating a couple of placeholder assets to use for testing. You know, that's mostly just so that I have something to work with while I'm de-rusting from coding, because I have not coded in 4 years, so how efficient I am or how capable I am at writing code in C# is going to be a complete mystery. Are I still allowed to write in C# with Unity? I'm going to presume you can still write in C#. But at the minimum, I need to learn how to use the new input system, because I did not use the new input system back in the day because it was not yet out. It was still too new. So I'll probably add to the Kanban board if I think of anything else. I think the main things I need is what, the storyboard and like a UI, like a base UI layout. That's really about it, right? I mean, I guess the UI layout can wait till the game mechanics are more decided. I'll have a think about it. Otherwise, I'll work on something smaller scale that maybe I can squeeze out in 3 days, which will probably be a mode. The idea is to do a, where do I have the description written here? How do I go through this project? The idea was to create a shop kind of management game with a HoloLive theme. 90% so that I don't have to think, and 10% so that if it becomes anything substantial, I can pitch it to Hollow Indie. But this is very much concept art at the level of only I need to think about how to understand it. Yeah, I want to get back into making games, so I need something to de-rust on. So this is basically the excuse I'm using to de-rust. Whether it becomes anything substantial is going to be a different matter, but either way, thank you very much for watching today's session of random ass concept art of me really just throwing lines at a piece of paper. It's pretty different from what I usually do, but maybe this will continue, maybe this won't. Either way, if you want to see more art things, or maybe more of this in the future, remember to be subscribed or following, depending on where you're watching from. Leave a like because it helps me out, and I'll see you again next time.